Hey, Crypto Growth Fam, how's it going? This is your host Shazib signing in. We're back with another video, folks. Casper Network, billions of dollars flowing through Casper. It's going to be an interesting one, guys, so make sure to watch till the end. And, folks, for those of you who are new to the channel, we primarily discuss utility coins and potential gems. If you're interested in any of that stuff, then subscribe the channel and hit the notification icon for regular videos. Now, folks, let's see how Casper is disrupting billions, if not trillions, even in the future, folks. So let's check this out. This is Crypt Guardian over here. Michael has reposted this, by the way. Casper 2.1 is landing in 3 months. Multi-VM architecture, simpler smart contracts with the already upgradable smart contracts. I think, yeah, obviously. Self-describing contracts, auto SDKs and apps, AI-ready workflows. So this is the real deal, a real-world deal, basically. Parking industry and more. Casper trying to provide use cases for the real world. It is growing. It is happening. By the way, these are some technicals over here. Look at this. This is Johnny over here. Posted June 5th. Okay, so latest almost. Yeah. Now the price is manipulating near my zone of interest. In the big lines, I'm expecting something like that to indicate a bullish pattern. Of course, it also depends of when BTC is going to be bullish again. Folks, aside from BTC, I'll add on to this that if Casper continues on to develop, continues on to gain momentum, continues its bullish trajectory in terms of developments, in terms of behind the scene partnerships, I think eventually we will go up because fundamentals are really, really important when it comes to value in the long run. So this is the zone of interest of Giovanni. Let's see how it goes from here on forward. This is Crypt Guardian again. Hope you packed your bags because this rocket won't wait. Charts look loaded, builders stay calm, and Casper quietly getting stronger. The bull run isn't coming, it is here. Hopefully, folks, as we can see that the price has become a bit stable through the past few days, folks. It has been volatile for a lot of different projects and going south for most of them. Obviously, you've seen it. So let's hope that the prices remain intact. They remain in a good place. And if it remains above the zero over here, the 1 cent level, I think I'm good as long as it remains above it. If it goes to 9 cents, 9.5 cents, I'm fine. Still, I'm fine. But let's hope that it doesn't go much down. Okay, so this is money game over here. Casper for my future 2030 hands. If AmeriCorp's integration, by the way, let me show you that AmeriCorp's news, and then we will. It will be much easier for you to understand what this post is all about. So look at this. Our CTO Michael announces Casper's collaboration with AmeriCorp Investments. AmeriCorp Investments, basically to bring transparency, trust, auditability, and eventual tokenized ownership to the US parking industry through blockchain solutions built on the Casper network. Folks, now we're seeing that we're back. We're getting in line for new partnerships, new use cases. We've seen a lot of bad things happening with the Casper momentum. We saw Prove AI going. We saw a lot of different things. The intellectual property rights, if you remember, tokenizing that went down the drain. But this is we are witnessing new partnerships, new momentum picking up US parking industry, and we're going to be checking out why it is important. Yeah, first let's see this news from Michael.
Hey Casper fam, this is Michael Stoyer, the CTO of Casper Association. I'm very excited to announce our partnership with AmeriCorp Investments to transform the US parking industry using the Casper network. The US parking industry is projected to reach $144 billion by 2030. but it faces significant challenges with transparency and efficiency. Our collaboration aims to address these issues by leveraging blockchain technology to enhance trust and streamline payment processing for all stakeholders. Additionally, we're exploring the tokenization of parking spaces, creating opportunities for passive income for token holders through revenue generated from these assets. With the successful rollout of CASPER 2.0, our network is equipped to adapt to changing regulations and drive this transformation in the parking industry forwards. So stay tuned for more updates as we embark on this journey together. Thank you.
So folks, you saw Michael's insights over here. Now let's see what Money Game has posted. Look at this. For my future 2030 hands. If AmeriCorp's integration of CASPER Network's blockchain technology into the US parking industry proves successful, it could significantly impact the revenue flowing through CASPER ecosystem by 2030. So by 2030, what are we looking at? What is the market that it is disrupting? We saw Michael say almost $144 billion, folks. Here we are looking at $131 billion annually, that which the US parking industry generates. I mean, that is great, approximately, by the way. Yeah, I agree that capturing only a fraction of this can be huge for CASPER network and the adoption, the use cases, the services and utility that CASPER can generate could really influence the CASPER token if it is well utilized, and the infrastructure that is dependent on that as well. But I think that CASPER token, it will be used in the infrastructure for sure. This is why we talk about CASPER as being a utility project. Supply 13.11 billion tokens. CASPER price predictions for 2030. Various analysts have provided forecasts. ICO listing online suggests a range between $1 and $2, averaging $1.50. FX Crypto News provides a more optimistic forecast with a minimum of $10 and average of $15, which I mean, that is going to be awesome. If it happens, I mean, that is remarkable, not even more than remarkable, folks, and a maximum of $20. BitScreener estimates a range between $3.64 and $5.33 with an average around $4, holding till 2030. Folks, if it happens, obviously it is going to be really wonderful for the CASPER community. By the way, let me share with you this video of crypto charged as well, which I was checking out. It is concerning XRP and CASPER, but we're going to be looking at the CASPER section over here, CASPER network updates, and AmeriCorp investments partnership with CASPER. So let's check this out, folks.
A month with code YouTube, including a 30-day free trial. So I hope you guys come check us out at cryptocharge.com.
Absolutely, Matt. So let's get into some of the CASPER things we should discuss today. I think since, we've been out since, I think, the 5th of May. So this is our first after hours in quite a couple weeks here, team. So what has happened since then? CASPER 2.0, Zug consensus, finality with transactions coming the moment they're added. This is a big upgrade, and this is something that has been marketed to the broad crypto industry. If you look at CASPER Network, because of the we want partnerships, we want actual utility coming to the CASPER network, and so this was a big event. I know some of you are like, well, this is for the developers, blah blah blah, but we need to see consistent upgrades in the network. This isn't something that we've been covering the XRP ledger, and there's updates within the XRP ledger, and so this is an ever evolving thing. Yes, we want utility today, but that's never going to come if the network itself isn't upgrading. On another note, just like paralleling that, the protocol, the association also has to upgrade too. Side note to this, CASPER announced how they kind of want to change on-chain governance. And we talked about this Q4 of last year, how they were changing governance because, how I title it, Millionaire being like a dictator. And so we had to get this, association had to detach from the for-profit company. They did, and then you had the interim board step up. And then they announced this on-chain governance where the validators could vote on what's going to happen with the network and propose new ideas. And actually, Stoyer said something, I believe it was last week, and he said we are integrating on-chain governance mechanisms into the legal structure of the association itself. So in practice here, in certain decisions made via on-chain voting, they will be legally binding for the association and recognized by Swiss authorities. I don't think I've ever heard of this happening with any other blockchain. Have you, Matt?
I mean, to some extent, that is kind of how a DAO works, a decentralized autonomous organization. API 3, for example, you can utilize your API 3 tokens to cast governance votes on proposals, generate proposals, and essentially that creates an amendment to the bylaws of how the protocol works. So, of course, we're talking about a grander scheme here where we're now affecting, legal documents on a very traditional level. But this is, to some extent, how crypto should work on a truly decentralized level. And, of course, we're always going to argue about who's the most decentralized and, this person did this and this company does this and this, takes away the decentralized factor of it. But to some extent, you take away Casper Labs as the front runner in this position. We have Casper Association as the clear, entity that's responsible for development and maintaining of the network. And then you add in the ability for the community to amend the network based on what we see the, future needs of that network being. Those are very, very powerful tools. And it truly, to me, is what DLT is created for.
Absolutely, Matt. And I noticed on their website when gathering everything, they added a new little catchphrase for how they identify themselves. And I think it was like real world ready. I don't know. I can't find it right now, but it's something to the effect of real world ready blockchain. Ready, real world ready blockchain. Say that 5 times fast. It's it's ready for the real world. And I think, one of the big things that we've talked about over the years is we get really excited for partnerships. Think about IPWE, think about the Prove AI product that we thought was going to come to Casper Network. And then, for the last couple of months now, we've kind of been in what I feel like is a limbo. We've been, excited for Casper 2.0 and everything that comes along with that. That's not just the upgrade itself, but all of the tools that were coming along with Casper 2.0 and that are being rolled out right now. But we really wanted utility. We want that real world adoption because, upgradable smart contracts can be cool and all, but what if they're not being used? What is the token we are buying then for what network? How is this actually going to help us investors? And that's where I really always want to bring it back to is the investor here. We're not here to talk about how cool Casper is. We do talk about how cool Casper is, and it is a very different blockchain than some of the other ones we talk about. But ultimately, how is this all going to propel price? And I'll tell you how this is going to propel price with big partnerships like this. AmeriCorp investments to bring U.S. parking industry on-chain with Casper Network. So this is a private holding company. They have a ton of patents, a lot doing with blockchain tech. And so AmeriCorp in their blockchain solution will leverage the Casper network to provide trust in data, faster, clearer payments, real-time auditing, and eventually, this is the big one that we've talked a lot about recently, eventually tokenized ownership of revenue-generating parking assets. So, Maddie, this seems to be a big industry, and you've covered it a little bit. What's your kind of thoughts on this big partnership? Because it kind of sounds like IPWE to me, dude, kind of in that same vein, but definitely on a bigger level.
Yeah, absolutely. Parking is a really big industry as a whole. There's the valuation of the facilities themselves. Whether we're talking about private facilities, maybe we're talking about also a combination of, government-sponsored ones where, you're parking at a city complex, but you still have to pay street parking, right? But we're talking about billions and billions of dollars that goes into this industry, maybe close to
millions and billions.
Billions of dollars, billions. They're going to park in big, beautiful parking lots. They're going to tokenize them. You're going to love it. Go ahead and rate my Trump impression, guys. Hopefully we're above a 6 here. But truly, guys, like when you look at some of these industries and some of these solutions, and we've talked about this a lot, not everything we talk about is super sexy, but it really doesn't matter if it's sexy or not. The goal is take industries, take platforms that are inefficiently being constructed now, bring audits on chain, bring the ability to manage employee hours on chain, the ability to tokenize and distribute shares of any industry to private investors that previously would have either had to be qualified purchasers or accredited investors. You're creating a more liquid marketplace. So when you have partnerships like this, and you also have big names behind it that are established, they're not new kids on the block that are seed funding or bootstrapping a few $1 million to try to get things together, which is not a bad thing. I'm very much an entrepreneur, and I'm very pro startup. But nonetheless, when you do have a little bit more of an established entity stepping in and saying, "Hey, we want to sandbox and experiment with this protocol, with this technology, and we see the value in it," I truly think that it starts to put a little bit more confidence in consumers. But again, guys, a lot of us have been investors this entire time. A lot of us were investors when things were very bleak. A lot of us were investors when there wasn't all of this bullishness, because we understood the underlying tech and we knew, hey, this is a bummer, this sucks, but we know that there will be new entities that will be attracted to this product in the future. And here we are just about 6 months later, and you have a very solid use case, right? And this isn't so much, again, an IPW that's still in the early phases that could basically crumble at any moment here. This is a company that if they decide not to build on Casper, it's not because they're folding from a financial standpoint. They've just decided that technology package or that DLT package isn't right for them. So I'm very excited for this. I think it's really going to, again, give us a great template for other companies to potentially look at once some of that test data is put out there, or even some of those real world deploys are out there, and they can go, okay, how did AmeriCorp do this? What was their findings? What kind of success have they had? Great, let's try to emulate that. And it kind of creates that snowball effect. So I'm very excited for it, and I think it's a very big net positive thing for the network.
Absolutely. And so with this partnership, obviously there's some clarity there, but just speak about transactions here. The US parking industry is expected to generate 144 billion by the year 2030. So, is there an inflection point there? Is there like a chink in the armor that Casper can solve? Absolutely. And AmeriCorp Investments is going to utilize this. And the CEO actually had some positive remarks as it relates to this, and this is the statement he gave. He says, "There is a tremendous opportunity to streamline parking transactions across the ecosystem using new blockchain-driven tech. This will lead to faster and more accurate payment clearing for all participants and large savings from simplifying the audit and regulatory process." So there is your kind of background with Casper team, this big freaking partnership. This should be very exciting for you. Yes, Casper is in a different stance. We look at it in a different light than we do other cryptos, not because we have a bias toward it, not because, we are emotionally tied to it, but because it is at a different phase than other networks are at, all right? And we must judge it accordingly to that. But now that we have, upgrades in the network, Casper 2.0, real utility coming to the network, now Casper is put in a position where it's like, well, now it's competing with some of the other cryptos we talk about. And it doesn't happen overnight. It doesn't happen. We get a partnership and it's like, oh, Casper's on a Hedera level, or Casper's the next XRP or Bitcoin. It's like we're not next Ethereum. It's like we don't view it in that manner. All right, we're viewing it in an investor manner, looking to invest in an asset that's undervalued, buy the asset, which we have. I'm overexposed to it, I know. And so now we want to see these big news events so we can potentially see, big price appreciation. Our view on big news events. We're not going to hype in and ape in. We welcome it, but we're not going to sit here and act like AmeriCorp Investments is going to drive Casper to $3 tomorrow, because it's not. Last note, Michael Stoyer is actually talking at SALT conference in Wyoming, with some pretty familiar faces also speaking there. Eric Trump, Cynthia Loomis, Tim Scott, Charles Hoskinson, the Wyoming governor, Kraken CEO. So a lot of people speaking there. And then you have Casper Association, Michael Stoyer, going to be speaking there about RWAs on chain. So very exciting there. Give him some support there from the Crypto Charge team, because we back the guy. He's a great guy. We love having him on the show, and I'd love to get him back on to discuss this big partnership, and we have one guest on After Hours, and it's been him twice, and I think he's just a good guest. I think we can just keep that going. We just have the same reoccurring guests. We don't need anyone else. I talked to Matt. I was just like, dude, listen, if we're going to bring other guests on, they have to be Stoyer level. We can't have guests come on. Like, we've already set the bar,
Right. Can't move backwards.
Kevin Cage has already been on the live show on the website. Then public facing here, we've already had Stoyer. So it's like, we're not going to do.
So, folks, what do you guys think about Casper Network and the ongoing developments? Do you think that it indeed has the potential to disrupt billions and even in the long run trillions? I would really like your opinions. Do hit the comment box below and let the community know. Anyways, guys, this was it for the video. If you liked it, make sure to like, share, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification icon if you're interested in utility coins and potential gems. And you can also support the channel by checking out Decent and its wallets, as well as Patreon, by following the links in the description box below. Until next time, stay blessed and stay tuned. Thank you very much, everyone.